Some love stories don't end, they just shift. Today's story is one of signs, symbols, and laughter through tears. If you've ever looked for someone who's left this world, this is your reminder they're still finding ways to say, I'm here. Here's the story. When love doesn't leave, butterflies, faucets, and messages from beyond. I was in the middle of Christmas chaos, packing for a cruise the next day, pretending I had my life all together, when I sat down for a second to breathe. And then I heard it. Not like heard, more like a whisper from somewhere deep down inside. Open Facebook. Ugh, no, I do not have time for doom scrolling right now. But the feeling was insistent, so I gave in. First thing on my feed, a GoFundMe page. Okay, classic Facebook. But then I see the photo. It's Sami, her husband, her kids, the whole family. My brain goes to, oh, that's nice. Maybe they're fundraising for a wait. What? I start reading, then rereading, then clicking around like a maniac all over her family's pages. None of this is making sense. I just talked to Sami before she left for her Disneyland trip. She was fine. She was happy. We were laughing. We were planning Sami's secret Santa. And now Facebook's trying to tell me she's dead? No, immediately no. That's not how this works. People don't just die and let you find out on Facebook. That's illegal. I threw my phone, screamed, and then I started doing that thing where your brain keeps trying to reboot because it refuses to process the update. This one hit me hard. It hit me differently. Sami wasn't just a distant acquaintance. She was my person, my soul sister, one of the key members of my village. Our friends are best friends, and now, just like that, gone? Eventually, I learned why no one told me. Her husband knew we were about to leave for vacation. He didn't want to ruin it, well, because what could we even do? He figured we should just go, enjoy it, be present, make the most of it. So we did, sort of. On the cruise, I turned to my sister, not by blood, my total soul family, and asked, can you connect with Sami? I can't hear her. I keep asking for signs that she's still here and nothing. Without skipping a beat, she says, butterflies. And then the butterflies started showing up. Not just the actual fluttery kind, those were plenty. They were all over. But also in the most random places, butterflies. In paintings, sculptures, wallpaper, gift shops, on tattooed bodies. There was a woman in the pool on the cruise with the same exact tattoo. It was like Sami was grabbing me by the shoulders and saying, hello, it's me. Stop being so dense. That was totally Sami, by the way. Channeled Sami. But this is where it gets really wild. So we have this fancy touch faucet in our kitchen. You tap it, it turns on, it's super convenient. One day I'm talking to my son about Sami and the faucet just turns on. Nobody's touching it. Nobody's even near it. I laugh and I say out loud, oh, this is how we're doing this, Sami. And the water shuts off. So now this is a thing. The water turns on and off all the time. Even last night at 10:45 at night when I'm in bed, thinking thoughts that I know she had an opinion on, the water turns on. Usually we're talking about her though. At this point, I'm just accepting that Sami has decided to use our plumbing as her personal messaging system. Then one day, her son comes over. I tell him about the faucet situation. He's like, so, how does this work? How does she talk to you through the faucet? And before I could even answer, the water turns on. He freezes, looks at me, I look at him, and I just say, like that. His whole face changes, shock, then peace, then this deep sense of knowing. Like in that instant, he felt her. And I just whispered, thank you, Sami. Perfect timing. So the other morning, my son and I were having one of those rare, distraction-free, deep talks. He's opening up, being vulnerable, really thinking things through. And right in the middle of it, bam, water turns on. We look at each other, burst out laughing. I turn it off and I say, Miss Sami agrees. She says yes. And then the water turns on again. Now we're really laughing. Okay, Sami, we get it. You're here. Water turns on again. At this point, I'm getting goosebumps. This happened 7 more times. 7. And suddenly, it all makes sense. Sami didn't leave. She's just operating on a different frequency now. And truth be told, she's way more effective from the other side. She's sent butterflies. She's flickered lights. She comes to my son in his dreams to comfort him. She's literally running up my water bill. It was $20 extra this month, but I just call it a little soul tax. She's still here. She's always here. And every time I see a butterfly or hear the water turn on all by itself, I just say, thanks, Sami. I love you too. Because love like this, it doesn't end. It just finds new ways to speak. One conversation can change your life.